to College Football Final, presented by Mazda.
Blankenship looks, nods, says he's ready to take it to third overtime. Kicks it up. And no good! He missed it! And the Gamecocks win it at Athens in second overtime. Carolina takes down number 3, Georgia.
Well, how do you do, Todd Ellis, on the call of that game? We billed this as a statement Saturday in college football. Jesse Palmer, Joey Calaway, Matt Perry. Welcome into Week 7 of College Football Final. First of all, I can't believe it's Week 7. We could have a whole segment on that.
Oh, yeah.
We could have a whole segment on South Carolina and Georgia, which we will. That not the game we thought would perhaps provide some drama. Florida LSU down in Baton Rouge provided what we thought it would. Good football, hit you in the mouth football. Second quarter, Florida down 14-7. Even my southern accent just came out there. Kyle Trask deep down the sidelines to Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Kyle Trask not 100% after suffering that knee injury against Auburn, but he battled in this game, threw for 310 yards.
And then he did things like this. He used his feet a lot.
Yeah, one thing we know about Trask is he's a tough guy. You mentioned hurt in the Auburn game. Not 100%, knee hurting, still running hard.
Let's bring in Emory Jones now, change of pace guy. This was an incredible play.
This is on 4th and goal. I don't know if he's trying to throw this to LaMichael Pirine. I think he's trying to hit his tight end in the back corner, but the running back goes up, takes it away from the defender. What a catch by Pirine. Gators tied at 14.
That's amazing. That's what Dan Mullen said. He goes, throw it so it gets tipped, almost picks, and then we'll score.
Yeah, exactly.
Ensuing possession, Joe Burrow over the middle. Thaddeus Moss, 25-yard gain.
Burrow, once again, these balls are on the money where the receiver can catch it, simply turn the corner, get a first down.
Don't forget LSU can run the ball with Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, and great speed, bursting through the second level of the defense, untouched. He went for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns.
13 carries. He had a meaty day. Then Trask again steps up, finds Pitt, 16 yards. Later in the drive, Florida in the red zone, Trask to Van Jefferson, 6-yard touchdown. Trask was so composed.
Yeah, and they're grinding out. LSU's getting these big plays, get a quick touchdown. Florida has to grind to get there, convert some 3rd and 2s.
That tied it at 21. Now to the third quarter, tied at 28. Pressure started to get
better pressure in the second half. This on 3rd and 19. Marcel Brooks, a pass rush specialist on 3rd down, gets the sack.
All right, ensuing LSU possession, Tyron Davis-Price takes the handoff. He busted 33 yards.
Yeah, LSU averaged over 9 yards per carry in this game. It was the run game that put Florida away.
All right, so fourth quarter, same score, 35-28. Trask, play action, picked off.
I'll keep saying this. Derek Stingley Jr., this guy, the true freshman, he's the best cover cornerback I've seen this year in college football.
True freshman, just a stud. Ensuing LSU possession, this was really the ball game. Good touch, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, 7 catches, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's the speed guy. They used all of it down the side.
So Florida moves down the field. They got a 4th and goal from the 2, trying to make this thing interesting late, and this isn't going to get it done. No.
Big hit. Florida entered the game allowing just 9.5 points per game, and LSU now 7-3 versus AP top 10.
Here's Ed O on the deafening crowd.
I guarantee you this is the winning edge tonight was our home field. And I can't thank our crowd so much. We came to the Tiger Walk. There must have been 30,000 people there at the end when they all get in the Gator chomp. Man, I was fired up.
One fun thing about being in Florida, the games just keep getting bigger as you go, and next week's a much bigger game than this game. Our next four games are against SEC East teams, completely control our own destiny. So we got to get ready, head up South Carolina, and get ready to find a way to go do that. Get a win.
Called Big Game O. Now has 7 wins against AP top 10 teams since he took over LSU 4 games in the 2016 seasons. That is the 3rd most over that span, trailing only a couple of coaches with national titles. Saban, Urban, you know them. We started the show off with the call from the game. Let's show you how it happened. South Carolina between the hedges against Georgia. Hadn't beaten a top 10 team since 2014. Jake Fromm, issues on Saturday, picked off by Israel Mukuamu.
It's already a surprise. This game is 10-10. Going into halftime, you're just thinking Georgia hold on to the ball, maybe run out the clock, get some points. Big mistake by Fromm. South Carolina up by 7 going into the half.
Yeah, 17-10. Now still that score in the 4th quarter. 3rd and 3 from, again, picked by Mukuamu.
Yeah, just uncharacteristic bad decisions here, just not on the same page as his wide receiver. And Mukuamu now comes up with his 2nd pick.
All right, so this was a big moment in the game. Minute 59 left. Fromm has driven him all the way down the field. I want you to keep an eye on Eli Wolf and Jamie Robinson. From the overthrow, but they called defensive holding. This was on 4th and 6, automatic first down. Very next play, Fromm takes advantage. Good touch to Demetrius Robinson.
And although he didn't have his best game, but this is the Fromm we're used to seeing. Perfect pass, back of the end zone, crunch time, under 2 minutes, down 7. All of a sudden, tie ball game.
All right, so South Carolina moves the ball down. It's 4th and 3. They could punt it, go for it, but they decided to do this.
Muschamp wants to kick. How long is this?
Just 57.
57
yards.
yards.
No, that's it. Just 57.
You're going to give Jake Fromm the ball back at his own 40-yard line now with 40 seconds to go.
So the game goes to overtime. Parker White's not even close. Georgia's first possession, and again, Fromm picked off by
This one's not his fault, though.
not
This is his
Fromm's
third
fault
one.
right
Definitely
here.
not his fault. This ball has to be caught, and you're starting to feel like, okay, maybe this is not Georgia's day.
Yeah, so White has a chance to win it. 33-yarder
Chip
after
shot,
the
chip
interception.
shot.
Come on.
Automatic.
Oh, no.
Well, keep playing.
All right. Ryan Lzzy knocked out of the game.
like,
He's
what?
shocked. Georgia fans are like, oh, we're going to get this done. So South Carolina field goal, 20-17. Ensuing Georgia possession from long, incomplete. You got to question the play calling on this drive because then Rodrigo Blankenship, guy's automatic, right?
Automatic. This is going to go in.
This is going to send it to a third overtime.
No problem.
As good as it gets. Oh. College kickers prevail. The good one on South Carolina got the win, 20-17, and Will Muschamp can't believe what a day for Carolina.
It says a lot about the culture of our program, the leadership of our program, the type players we have in our program, and the future of our program.
I mean, it felt great. You know, a lot of people doubted us this year, but we came out. Coach Muschamp just told us keep fighting.
Our guys will keep fighting their ass off. It's a hell of a day to be a Gamecock, isn't it? You know, isn't it awesome?
Georgia closes 20.5-point favorites according to Caesars Sportsbook. It had been almost a quarter century to the day since the Dogs lost outright as a favorite of 20 points or more. On the other side of this, Kirby Smart, the Dogs go down.
When you play in the SEC, guys, every week you've got to be at your best because every team is 100% capable of out-physicaling you and outplaying you. We're not effective enough, efficient enough offensively, and they did enough with our run game where you still look at it statistically, 468 to 297, you outgain them, but it's the critical times in which the turnovers happened. You can't go 4-0 in the turnover margin and expect to win a game. It just doesn't happen.
All right, so you hear from Kirby Smart. They're obviously disappointed. Georgia still has Florida. They still have Auburn. Maybe one of those games was going to trip them up. Not this one against South Carolina. What does this mean for the Bulldogs?
It means it's a bad loss. But because they played Notre Dame, who's a top 10 team, and they got that win, they have a really good win on their schedule already before they get into the SEC. And you mentioned they have Auburn, they have Florida, they have Texas A&M. So if they can win the SEC East and go to the SEC championship game and maybe play in Alabama and LSU and win, this loss won't hurt them. And that's why you always say to these teams, if you play somebody before you get into your conference play, like a top 10 team, that's on your resume, then you have a chance to slip up. Here's the scary part if you're Georgia. Jake Fromm and the way he looked in this game, we haven't seen him look like this, where he's 28 of 51, looked uncomfortable, trying to force balls, 3 interceptions in this game. And so if you need something to fix, it's the Jake Fromm issue offensively. You got to take care of the football.
I think you expect Jake Fromm to get back to his old self, though. And I think it was a bad loss. You're playing at home. You lose to a team that was 2-3 in South Carolina, down to their third quarterback in this game. It's a game you're expected to win. I think Georgia's a very good team that played very poorly. And I don't care how talented you are. If you go -4 in turnover margin in a game, especially in the SEC, you heard Kirby Smart just say, you're not going to beat anybody in this game, right? I don't think they were exposed schematically in any way. You always know you got to stop the run. When you play Georgia, South Carolina held them to 4 yards a carry, but don't expect Jake Fromm to throw 3 picks week in, week out. He'll get back to his old self. I still think Georgia's the team to beat in the SEC.
I just give credit to South Carolina. They were very physical with it. This is the second time
They're the better
we've seen a team get physical with Georgia. We saw it with Notre Dame. And you talk about losses, double overtime. Maybe the committee takes that into consideration as we get down to that point of the season. LSU gets the win 42-28 over Florida. LSU beats the Gators. what was good about Joe Burrow on Saturday night?
Have we talked about this before?
Everything.
All the time, right?
Seriously, as we watch him play and you watch the progression of the throws he makes, it's not these wide open receivers. He's fitting this ball into very tight windows. You've seen against the Texas defense where he was finding just small windows. And watch here, he's going to wait on the slant. There's a lot of people in front of him. Now, Joe Burrow's a 6'4" quarterback. He can see over guys. But that window, that's an NFL-type window. You got to get that in there. And so he threw the ball well. He hits Jamar Chase on this coming across the field. And again, I always say it's up to the quarterback how much yak the receiver gets because it's where he places the ball.
Yeah.
Now, Joe Burrow in this game had three touchdown passes. He is a difference maker for this LSU team. And now, honestly, when you look at him and you look at this Alabama team, a lot of people be thinking LSU can beat Bama this year because of what Joe Burrow is doing.
I know a lot of people are saying, hey, let's get to November and see that game. But the one thing about Burrow we always talk about is he puts it on the guy's numbers all of the time. But don't forget, Jesse, LSU can run the ball.
And that's the thing, because all season we've been talking about Joe Burrow and Jefferson and Chase and Joe Brady and his passing attack and how they light everybody up against a very good Florida defense, guys. They ran for 216 yards, and you see offensive linemen and tight ends getting into the second level. They're opening up holes, allowing Clyde Edwards-Helaire to get into the second level and make people miss that. A 57-yard run. Here, Florida can't get lined up. It's a zone play, hats on hats. The talented true freshman Davis Price breaks it off for 33 yards. So now all of a sudden the scary part for LSU is you have balance. You can throw it, you can run it. And now for defenses moving forward, this is going to become a pick your poison dilemma and predicament because LSU wants to spread you out. And you want to play big zone coverages, worried about that passing attack, you leave 5-6 guys in the box, they can gash you. This is every defensive coordinator's nightmare.
I love it. LSU almost passed to set up the run, and they got it done at home against Florida. Still ahead, could Oklahoma get it done against Texas and Penn State? They had to go on the road to Kinnick, and Alabama also in College Station. And Trevor Lawrence, is he healthy? Is he okay? What's going on? Oh, all he needed to do was play Florida State. That and more coming up on College Football Final.
Football Final is presented by Mazda. Feel alive.
One of my favorite games in college football, Red River Showdown down in Dallas, State Fair, Texas. Before the game, there's some shouting.
Yeah, there's some talking,
pushing.
a little
It's a
nudging,
conversation
bumping
between a lot of different
And some unsportsmanlike conduct penalties before we even kicked. That's fun. Jalen Hurts, again. This is early on. Screen to CeeDee Lamb. Comes up just short.
Bad tackling is going to be a theme from Texas's defense.
I love this call early from Lincoln Riley. Set the tone, go for it. Up 7-0 early, Lamb's 8th straight game with a touchdown. Texas stays in this, Joey. Roschon Johnson, 57-yarder, down 7.
And it really felt like Oklahoma was dominating this game at this point, but it's 10-3. This big run, all of a sudden, Texas is right back in this game. We're about to tie it up.
Johnson would punch it in from 4 yards out. I think Jesse said during one of our halftimes that he looked like Tiki Barber running the ball. Keeps it there. Texas ties the game at 10. You mentioned the tackling. Here's where it comes into play. Still tied at 10, ensuing drive. Little flea flicker, Hurts to Lamb. Watch how many tackles get
I love this play call, too, because it's 10-10. Oklahoma's turned the ball over twice. They're trying to get some momentum, so Lincoln Riley dials up the flea flicker to CeeDee Lamb, but there's 5 Texas defenders on this play that have an opportunity.
We're going to show you.
But how many of them touching?
Down here.
There's 5, but how many touching is the question? One touches him.
B.J. Foster, technically right here, gets a touch.
No. We're not. We got to review to see if that was a touch.
Going into Saturday, they led the country in missed tackles at 47 missed tackles.
You want to count again?
No.
You want to take another count?
Well,
there's 1. There's 2. Number 5, don't even bother touching.
Look, Lamb, 171 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, seriously, though.
It was bad.
But that's why you talk about defense in the Big 12. It's just not great effort.
Hey, don't take this out on Alex Grinch and the Sooners defense. They played well. Jalen Hurts in for the touchdown. Oklahoma wins the Red River Shootout. They get the Golden Hat 34-27.
This hurts. It really does. And when you've invested what this team has invested, any loss hurts. And especially when you lose to your rival. Losing is not a failure unless you refuse or don't learn from the things that you did poorly.
Happy to get a win today, but it's more. And so that's really going to be the message that's really being preached to everybody on the team. It's more out there for us. We got to play better.
Didn't put the team in best situations at times, but we found ways to overcome it together. We played together, and we found out a lot about ourselves tonight.
Jesse, talk to me about the OU pass rush.
It was their first real test against a good offense, and this defensive line was so disruptive, coming up with 9 sacks and getting movement up front at the point of attack. Here the nose tackle looping around to get a sack on Sam Ehlinger. Coming right up the middle, Neville Gallimore from Mississauga, Ontario, in a one-on-one situation, showing you at 300 pounds, a little spin move to get into the backfield again, and they held Sam Ehlinger without a touchdown pass for the first time this season. Kenneth Murray, I think, is their best player on defense. We've seen him on third down spy quarterbacks that can run. Here, getting some pass rush as well. This defense not just good enough to win the Big 12, go to the college football playoff, but I think to win a national championship.
Well, it's continued a trend we've seen all season. Their 9 sacks for OU tied a single-game school record, and it's 15 tackles for loss, where it's second most ever versus Texas. Take that, Big 12 and defense. Another rivalry game on Saturday, USC, Notre Dame, 2 storied programs. Under 5 to go in the game, Notre Dame leading 3. Here comes Ian Book, 17-yard rush.
And at one point, Notre Dame was up 20-3 in this game. Felt like they're going to run away with it, and then here comes USC making a game of it.
USC makes a game. Notre Dame answers. Book, again, is good with his
Book
feet.
does a lot of this stuff in the red zone. The Irish ran for 308 yards. Tony Jones Jr. also a big day running.
All right, so maybe a little separation for the Irish, but here comes USC. Marquis Step gets it to within 3.
Yeah, there's so many playmakers on this USA team. They're really not out of a game until the final second has gone off the clock. Now it's time for an onside kick.
All right, the onside kick is here, but USC head coach Clay Helton is furious at something. I'm going to walk you guys through this. He's yelling at the refs. Why is he yelling at the refs? Look at this again. Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly is on the field yelling at his players.
He's not wearing pads.
After the ball has been kicked.
His eligibility is expired.
You can't go back and review 12 men on the field?
You can't, the play is not reviewable. So it would stand. Notre Dame holds on to win 30-27, and Brian Kelly was ha-ha about it. Clay Helton, not so much. Let's start with Kelly.
I was going to take the onside kick. I felt like I have the best hands of anybody on the team, and so I was going to try to get in position for it, but they already told me that we had 11 guys on the field, so I thought I'd move myself over. No, we were trying to get one of our guys up on the onside kick, and he wasn't aware of the change that we made, so I was trying to bring him up onto the onside kick.
Yeah, I went to him because one of their coaches was actually on the field. And actually all the way to the numbers. I asked if that is reviewable. I was going to call a timeout to review it because I felt like our guys didn't really know where we're going or where we're not going. I thought it did help. They were trying to get their guys lined up. Should have been a flag, no question. It got missed.
Love that Kelly was at the Chuckle Hut. Clay Helton's like, what are we doing? Let's go to Kinnick. Weird things can happen if you're a ranked team at Kinnick. I was all in on the Uni.
I liked it.
I thought the Uni swag was good. I thought Sean Clifford had a pretty nice game as well. He had a good start to the season, but he gets sacked here.
Yeah, got off to a slow start in this game, though. In the first half was 5 of 15.
Then Clifford tries to escape the pocket.
That was a good defense, man.
Yeah.
They just rush forward. They play 3 linebackers and big zone coverages and nowhere for Clifford to go with the ball.
All right, so Iowa's got a 3-0 lead in the second. Clifford still looking to get back in this one, and the effort by KJ Hamler here is amazing.
Yeah, if you're looking to get back in it, get it to Hamler, one of the best playmakers in the Big Ten. It reminds me a lot of Rondale Moore from Purdue. Out in space, he's as good as anyone at making a play and finding his way to the end zone.
Look how high he got. The touchdown would be reviewed. It would stand. Nittany Lions lead 7-3, 2:37 left in the fourth. Could Iowa muster up some offense? Nate Stanley takes the snap. Brandon Smith.
That's a good idea. Brandon Smith won the Mississippi State high jump championship, clearing 6 foot 8 inches and showing you all of his range on this one.
Just an incredible catch. Iowa goes for 2. They don't get it. That would be a factor. 4 and a hook makes it that way. Penn State leads 17-12. Then Clifford and Noah Kane salt it. First down. Penn State's now won 6 straight games in Iowa. That preserves the whiteout next week against Michigan. Trevor Lawrence and Clemson against Florida State. Here's what Dabo had to say earlier this week about Lawrence.
There's nothing wrong with Trevor, and I don't like people trying to create drama. There's no drama on this team, so what do people do? They want to create drama. It's the most unbelievable thing. There's no drama. Ain't nothing wrong with Trevor.
All right, so let's find out.
Prove it.
Prove it. There's nothing wrong with him. Fakes the shovel pass. He takes it. That's a statement, right?
Yeah, and they've had to wait 2 weeks to get back on the field. Had a bye week after the close call against North Carolina. Finally come out, and they want to make a statement early.
Remember when Clemson, Florida State was the game of the year? Look at that throw.
Yeah, good throw. Only threw for 170 yards, but 3 TDs. Putting that where only Justin Ross.
Guys, I'm a little worried about him. He didn't, he looks 4 TDs in the first half, personal best. Clemson in a rout. They've won 21 in a row. I'm getting nervous about Clemson. Here's Trevor.
We're just focusing on winning the division, really. That's our next goal. But, I mean, that's going to be really critical, I think, when it comes on the stretch because, obviously, just the rhetoric around the ACC and all that, which is, whatever you want to believe. But, we're just going to play every game, take it 1 week at a time, and see where we're at when it's all done.
I love Trevor stumping for the ACC. I present you Louisville and Wake Forest.
Defense optional.
Yeah, Louisville up 45-31 in the fourth quarter. Evan Conley hits Des Fitzpatrick 50 yards.
You know a game is good when you jump straight to the fourth quarter. You know you've had a lot of good things happen in the game. This many points, go to the fourth quarter, down 20.
52-31, game's over. Just get out, go home.
No way, man. Don't tell that to Sam Hartman playing in place of Jamie Newman at quarterback. Here finds Scotty Washington for 22 yards.
No, but Jesse, go home. It's a 10-point game. Onside kick. Demon Deeks recover. There's still hope. And then Sam Hartman gets big again. 21-yard touchdown.
Wake Forest scored 28 points in the fourth quarter to actually make this exciting.
Oh, it gets better. Louisville faces a 4th and 1 on the Wake Forest 41. Out of timeouts. Louisville trying to ice the game. And look at Evan Conley.
Their starter, Cunningham, he's out of the game. So the freshman Connolly shows you the speed.
Athlete.
All right, so I started to button up my tie. I'm thinking game's over. I can go ready to college football final. And then, how about this? Hartman to Sage Surratt.
Let's go. Get him, Surratt. Out of bounds. We still got time. 1:23 left.
You just keep going, right? Another one. Surratt again.
That's bad tackling.
They came into the game leading the ACC with 515 yards a game. They put up 668.
Hartman keeps it himself. Back to a 3-point game.
Definitely have another onside kick in it, right?
Did you guys have 121 as the point total?
Here we go.
Oh, what are we doing? Don't
hit it.
We're
get
picking the
fall on it.
Scoop and score.
It would be reviewed and rewarded to Louisville. 62-59 is the final. That's 121 total points, second most in an ACC game. I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun. What about Tua? How is he going to handle the pressure of being on the road? Jonathan Taylor trying to get back into the Heisman. We'll check in on both of those fellas coming up on College Football Final.
College Football Final, presented by Mazda.
All right, let's go to the Big Ten. Wisconsin, Michigan State, virtual lock implications. Jesse had Wisconsin minus the points, and Jack Cohn had Jake Ferguson.
And I love the play call. It's 4th and 2, so everyone's expecting Jonathan Taylor to get a handoff, but come on, tight end, stay up.
Big man has to score. Then Taylor from 1 yard out. Yes, he did get over. Held to 80 yards, kind of a ho-hum day for the Heisman candidate. Badgers take a 7-0 lead. Start of the second quarter. Great catch here by Quintez Cephas.
Yeah, and Cohn's completing 75% of his passes on the season coming in. Throws this one high to Cephas. Cephas is 6'1". Looks like he's 6'8" as he goes up and gets this one-handed.
Badgers up 14-0 fourth quarter. It's been all about Wisconsin's D all season.
Zach Bond returns this pick, 34 yards for a touchdown. Defense has been lights out, a goose egg, and this one gave up just 149 yards.
They've scored 4 defensive TDs on the season. They've only allowed 4 TDs all season by opponents. What about Alabama and Texas A&M and College Station? Virtual lock implications. Joey took the point total of 61, the over. Tua finds Jalen Waddle.
Every single week you start the Alabama highlight with a short pass, and it's all yak. The receiver does the work. Ruggs, Waddle, Judy, whoever. They always score.
Passes A.J. McCarron for most in school history. We're tied at 7. Then Tua, I like this a little miscommunication, and then they get after it to Jerry Jeudy.
You like this?
I do, because you a little bit of conflict.
Sometimes
it's like
great
me and
players
Palmer.
disagree.
This is like
I'm telling you.
You got to discuss things.
It's good, and then Tua,
you can't throw blind over the middle of the field. This looks a lot like the pick he threw last year in the SEC title game against Georgia, so he snaps his 186 without a pick.
Sky is falling.
Human,
you know what? Get him out. It's awful.
He's terrible.
It's just the clouds over College Station that we just can't play anymore. We kid, we joke, because then he does this. Henry Ruggs.
22nd career touchdown ties Jerry Jeudy for second most in Alabama history.
47-28 the final. Roll Tide despite Tua's shaky day with the one interception.
Did I get the over?
Again, we kid, yes.
Okay.
We'll pay that off later.
Okay, good.
All right. We talk about virtual locks from Tuesday till now. After throwing 26 touchdowns for his first pick last season, Tua did the same exact thing last season. He's now thrown at least 4 touchdowns in 4 straight, and already has set the school's record for passing touchdowns in a season previously held by A.J. McCarron. All things are good in Nick Saban's world right now.
I think he has an opportunity, based on the kind of offensive team we have, to have great production if he can continue to just stay focused, on, what we want to do. I mean, this very seat is where rat poison was born. All right, so I remember that 2 years ago. All right, and when I hear things in the media about whether guys are first-round draft picks or they're setting great records and all that type of thing, that's not really what I like for players to be focusing on right now.
I love it. Rat poison. Remember that?
Yeah,
Remember earlier on Saturday, South Carolina beats Georgia 2017. First win over an AP top 10 team since 2014. And if you think the sky is falling in Georgia, don't. Not all is lost. The Bulldogs are the 5th top 3 team to lose at home to an unranked opponent in the college football playoff era. 3 of the previous 4 still went on to make the playoff. All right, now let's take a look at who you guys think could be in the college football playoff with the Capital One fan vote.
All right, Matt, week 7 in the books now. So, Joey, we're about halfway done this season. Let's see if there's anybody new in our top 5.
Maybe some movement. I don't know why you still got Georgia up here. But, at number 5, I'll take Oklahoma.
Nice.
Finally got to see that defense go against someone good. And they stopped Elliott from throwing a passing touchdown for the first time all season long. They looked pretty good. If they continue to play defense that way, that's a playoff team.
I think this defense proved they're legit, Joe. I got them now in my 5 as well. And against the Texas offense, you're mentioning that it scored 35 points in 5 straight games and also had their best wide receiver, Colin Johnson, back on the field. They had 9 sacks in that game. So all of a sudden, Oklahoma looking like a very complete team to me. So I got them at 5.
So number 4.
I'm going to go Ohio State like last week. Now, they're looking like, I think to me, maybe the most complete team in the entire country. They're beating everybody right now by an average of 40 points a game. Not the same strength of schedule as the rest of my top 5, but I cannot wait to see them play Wisconsin in 2 weeks.
I agree. They had a bye week, but they're really good during their bye week. And they'll stay at number 4.
Okay.
And so I'll go right to number 3. And this is movement for me. Alabama moves down to number 3. It really hadn't played anybody yet. Tua did throw his first interception of the season. I'm surprised they left him in the game. He's terrible. But Alabama offensively score with anyone. Now, the only concern is they're giving up about 27 points a game against SEC opponents, so that might be something to look at for Alabama moving forward.
I got LSU in my top 3 now, and a phenomenal resume, right, with wins at Texas and a really good Florida team they just beat this past weekend as well. I think they do have some question marks on defense. They got a bunch of starters back on that side of the ball, but they still gave up over 450 yards to the Gators. But you mentioned it with Joe Burrow and the passing offense. And now with their ability running the football, very balanced on offense. Number 2, I've got Clemson. It's funny, statistically on defense, they're actually better in a lot of categories than they were even a year ago. Trevor Lawrence reminds me a lot of Sam Darnold from a few years back, where you watch him play and you're like 98% of the time he's doing amazing things, and then he does something that just makes you scratch your head. There's a bad interception somewhere there, but they had a nice bounce-back win after that win against UNC a few weeks back.
And I'll take LSU at number 2. Now sitting there with 2 top 10 wins. This is a team that Joe Burrow has been so fun to watch. They beat Texas, which is a top 10 team, made some terrific throws. So I want to see him against a better defense. Florida, much quicker, more athletic on the defensive end. Joe Burrow, once again, throwing the ball into small windows, has 3 more touchdown passes. That moves them up to number 2 for me.
Okay, who's number 1 for you right now?
Still number 1. defending champs. Coming off a bye week, you knew they'd be a little fired up. Didn't look good against North Carolina. A lot of people asking questions. Was Trevor Lawrence hurt? Was he healthy? They got off to a great start. ETN, 127 yards rushing. And once again, Trevor Lawrence with a really bad interception. Expect him to clean that stuff up.
Yeah, Tua's human. You mentioned it. Finally threw his pick, but that offense is just lighting up the scoreboard. The defense loaded with a bunch of freshmen in the front seven. They continue to battle. A common opponent with Clemson, Texas A&M. Bama beat them by more points on the road than Clemson did at home. That's why I got Bama number one. So, LSU in our top three, Matt, and Oklahoma, welcome to the top 5 party.
All right, guys, we'll see what's in store for next weekend. Oregon and Washington, big one of the Pac-12. Oklahoma and Wisconsin are top 10 teams with home rivalry games. And speaking of rivalries, you've got Michigan and Penn State. They've got the whiteout. It's going to be a good one. Don't forget to give your Capital One fan vote on SportsCenter's Twitter handle on Monday. Speaking of Michigan, they probably thought they could go into Champaign and kind of walk through Illinois. I mean, I wouldn't blame them. Michigan's first drive of the game, 3rd and 1. Hassan Haskins gets loose, 29-yard touchdown.
After the Iowa win, Jim Harbaugh told us the offense was very close to clicking on all cylinders. Early in this game, he might be right.
I mean, Illinois came in with a 23-game losing streak to ranked teams, so it looked easy for Michigan early.
Well, Michigan ran for 295 yards in this one, so play action was opening up, and they've got a really good group of tight ends. That there, a touchdown catch by Schoonmaker.
They were up 28-0 at the half, and then Illinois thought Michigan's 9th lost fumble of the season. Maybe a little comeback. Here comes Dre Brown.
Yeah, once again, his turnovers are the issue for Michigan. 2 more fumbles in this game. That has been a theme. When they take care of the football, they're pretty good. When they turn it over, teams like Illinois can get back in the game.
It was 28-25 until Donovan Peoples-Jones catches one.
Most importantly, Shea Patterson did not throw a pick. And when he does that and they play good defense, they are tough to beat.
Table set for Penn State. The table is set for great finishes on Saturday. ASU, Baylor, and Temple all needed late finishes to get the wins. Wait until you see how they finished up. And we have not one, but 2 teams who scored 90 points Saturday. D3's John Carroll over Capital University and NAIA's Kansas Wesleyan over St. Mary. 90 points. Bring it. This is College Football Final.
We're here with Oakley Klein star.
Desert, Arizona State, Washington State, virtual lock implications in this one. Jesse took ASU in a pick'em. Jaden Daniels to Brandon Ayuk. These two were electric
Arizona
Saturday.
State was down 10-0 at one point, but then Daniels, the true freshman, started finding his best receiver in a big game for Ayuk. 7 catches, 196 yards, 3 TDs.
Tied it at 31. Then Eno Benjamin gets the call on 4th and 2. Sun Devils stay alive. 2 plays later, look at Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels makes plays in games you're thinking, no, don't. And then he makes a great play, gets in the end zone. Big touchdown.
12 plays, 75-yard drive, 386 total yards and 14 each for the true freshman who brings ASU back to take the lead.
125 pounds?
Wet. And then last chance for Washington State.
Yeah.
No dice.
Yeah, they lost 2 in a row. Their defensive coordinator resigned. Anthony Gordon threw for 466 yards and 3 touchdowns, but it was not enough on the road.
How about Arizona State getting the win? That a good finish. This also a good finish. Texas Tech taking on Baylor. Minute 45 left in the game. 3rd and 1. So Roderick Thompson up the gut. Touchdown.
Don't look now, but Baylor's 5-0. But they're behind. They're losing this game.
Yeah, there were 16 undefeated teams coming into Saturday. Baylor, one of them, Charlie Brewer to Denzel Mims.
Yeah, and he got hurt against Kansas State last week. They weren't sure if he was going to go, but he gutted it out. What a catch here by Mims, who's getting his feet down.
So good. Baylor would kick a field goal to send the game to overtime. In overtime, Jet Duffy to TJ Vasher.
Great pass, great catch in the back. One-handed, pull it in, both hands underneath. Touchdown.
Boy, that was good. 27-27, on to another overtime. Why not? Brewer to Jermichael Hasty.
Yeah, and Brewer threw 3 picks in this game, but he never lost his confidence. Big completion here near the end of the game.
And then Hasty, ball game, Baylor. How about it? Undefeated are the Bears. 352 yards for Brewer. Big one for Baylor, 6-0 for the 5th time since 2000. 13. Memphis Temple in this one. 2:28 left in the first half. Temple up 16-7. Isaiah Wright in an end around.
Yeah, Temple was up 13-0 in this game, and it looked like it was going to be a cakewalk, and all of a sudden Memphis woke up.
What about Kylan Watkins here up the gut? Here comes Memphis.
Memphis will run on you, and the conference's leading rusher, Kenneth Gainwell, had 106 yards rushing, and then Watkins takes this one out. Memphis on the comeback, only down 2 points.
Yeah, fourth quarter things get interesting. Still 23-21. Anthony Ruth to the fade to Brandon Mack. And this is good footwork here.
Yeah, it really is. Brandon Mack spins his body, puts it on the back shoulder. Nothing the defensive back can do about it.
All right, so here comes Brady White. He rolls right, finds Tice Daniel.
How about Tice here? First ever catch, also first ever TD, and Tigers cut it to 30-28.
All right, so White has an opportunity here, finds Joey Magnifico on 4th and 9, and at first it looks like a catch.
Yeah, you see the green line. Now they're in field goal range, only down 2. Take another look.
No catch. Ball game, good for Temple. They win 30-28 now, 5-1 on the season. Memphis suffers their first loss. We've been doing it all year. We are counting down the best to wear particular jerseys. Started at 15 in our celebration of 150 years of college football. We are already at number 9. So the best to wear number 9 in college football history. Joey, I'll start with you.
Man, the season's flying. I'm going Steve McNair, number 9, Alcorn State. Passed for nearly 1,500 yards, threw 119 touchdowns, added 3 more rushing touchdowns, gained over 300 total yards, an FCS record 32 times in his career. He was just an all-around playmaker, great athlete, had a great NFL career also.
Love this one.
I'm going to go Syracuse and Don McPherson. Before Donovan McNabb, there was Don McPherson. This guy was tremendous. Remember the 1987 season? He finished runner-up in the Heisman, but won the Maxwell Award as college football's player of the year. This guy set 22 school records while he was at Syracuse, led them to an 11-0-1 record and a berth in the Sugar Bowl. Phenomenal season.
I need you guys to stand down for Jim McMahon. Greatest to ever wear number 9. He had the swagger, the headband. He was BYU's punter as a freshman, then took over as starting quarterback as a sophomore. Twice finished the top 5 of the Heisman Trophy. Give me Jimmy Mack in the electric blue for BYU. Now, typically we get the picks for the best to wear number 9, but our PAs and our researcher, they wanted to hop in on this week for another number 9. So an honorable mention to one Bobby Boucher.
Yes.
Number 9. Pride of South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs single-handedly led the comeback against the University of Louisiana in the Bourbon Bowl after showing up at halftime in his mother's fan boat.
Bobby Boucher, big hitter.
Yeah.
Big hitter.
We get a lot of targeting penalties.
Yeah, a lot of launching,
By the way,
thrusting of the helmet. But
look at number 8 next week. Look at that list. That's going to be good. Napoleon Kaufman used to kill Arizona State back today. He was a good player.
You go back, I dare you to go back-to-back BYU quarterbacks, Barry.
You daring me? Is that a double dog dare? I'll take it. And I'll take top plays. Top plays aplenty from some of the marquee games on a busy Saturday. Plus, what about Bowling Green beating Toledo? Bowling Green was a 26.5-point underdog, and they get the win against Toledo. More coming up on College Football Final.
Football Final, presented by Mazda.
Can Cincinnati keep that thing just rolling along? Taking on Houston. They lead 14-10 here. Desmond Ritter to Josiah DeGuara.
You expected the Bearcats to score in this one. Houston has the worst defense in the American Conference, giving up 492 yards a game.
Hey, give credit to Houston. They fought back. Clayton Tune to Christian Trahan.
They did. They got back in this game. They had 424 yards of total offense. The problem, they turned it over 5 times, as you'll see here.
Yeah, this one of them. You'll tip. Does that count as a pick 6? I mean, it was.
Yeah, that's a pick 6.
All right,
well,
we'll
pick 6.
Cincinnati wins 38-23. They keep rolling along, 2-0 conference play, 5-1 overall. Let's do a little what were you thinking? This is Mark Ivey, the Louisville line coach. Why is he bleeding?
That's holding, first off. 3 times. Face mask, personal foul.
What's he doing?
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Now he's fighting coaches?
He's getting slapped around. He's bleeding.
I'm not sure if this is a joke or this is serious. In the same game, Sage Surratt just chilling with a hoodie.
Mary, I think you could go with that look.
Yeah. Well, I do.
Sage Surratt's
about the same. You can wear it on the abs you got.
Yeah, I totally do.
Trying to fight against hypothermia.
Chest hair.
The head.
Tanner Muse, I love this play. He should celebrate.
How about his teammates, though? Run right past him. They want nothing to do with joining in on that
Why are we
celebration.
making fun of him? He deserves to celebrate.
Yeah, they're just getting out of his way.
Is it because of the white guy celebration?
Yeah, that was shaky.
All right, let's do a little hurry-up offense now. Nebraska and Minnesota on the road without Adrian Martinez. So that would play a factor, and row the boat, just keep scoring points.
Yeah, and Tanner Music, quarterback, very efficient, 8 of 13, threw a touchdown pass right here to Chris Autumn-Bell.
That Tanner Morgan to Chris Autumn-Bell, 15 yards, and Mohamed Ibrahim, 15 yards out.
Yeah, Minnesota, 322 yards rushing. Now it's 6-0. When are people going to start talking about row the boat?
Are they going to be ranked or something?
They got to get ranked.
Can we get a virtual robo?
I mean, they have to. They're 6-0, 3-0 in conference. How about PJ
Go
Fleck?
ahead, Palmer. Go ahead.
Another good finish. Northern Illinois and Ohio. Nathan Rourke.
Pride of Canada.
Yeah.
Do it for the maple syrup. Here hooking up with Shane Hooks.
Game tied at 36. 3 seconds left. Still tied. Thank goodness no college kicker situation. Northern Illinois wins 39-36. John Richardson, ball game. Good for you. What about Nevada, San Jose State? 3 seconds left. Tied at 38 for the win.
Drill it down the middle. Just for you.
We are reversing.
Remember Malik Henry from Chance U? He started this game for Nevada, threw for 352 yards.
Yeah, he did, Malik Henry.
Yes, you did.
I'd love, maybe Malik's going to get a helmet sticker. Maybe the kickers that make kicks are going to get helmet stickers. We don't know. Actually, we do know. We're the only ones that know. Helmet stickers coming. Why Hank Bachmeier's been taking hits all year.
No quarterback in the country gets hit more often than the true freshman at Boise State. Here he scrambles, ball comes out, Hawaii recovers. Bachmeier would not return to the field, and you just wondered when this was going to happen.
Hey, look, they didn't miss a beat either. Chase Cord to Khalil Shakir, 33-yard touchdown.
College football playoff rankings come out in a couple weeks. Boise State sitting at number 14. It'll be interesting to see how much respect they get from the committee.
Virtual lock implications, Utah taking on Oregon State. This was the lock of the millennium. Utah, 14.5-point favorites against Oregon State.
Zach Moss, 5 carries, 121 yards. 21 points in the first quarter, Barry, and it puts this one away. That's the only game we're waiting on. 4-0 on the day.
All right, so here's your guys' opportunities. Utah, big one against Arizona State, 52-7 this week.
That's right.
Congratulations.
That's right.
Do we get a sticker for that?
No, you don't get a sticker.
No sticker for us?
You get confetti. You get time to brag on the program.
People at home, you get free money.
And you were 0 for 4.
I was 0 for 4 because I always take the opposite just for fun. Top plays time. New Mexico State, Central Michigan. Jason Huntley takes the handoff, spins, and spins.
Spin, cycle, circle, button. People are trying to trip him.
Didn't work.
It ain't working. No.
Yeah. Central Michigan gets the win 42-28 over New Mexico State. Either way, great, good quicks. Those quicks, that's what Joey Calaway looked like in high school.
ACL just watching that.
Number 2, Michigan Tech. There's a Michigan Tech and a Northern Michigan. Michigan Tech's Travis Tidwell kicks the pass to Glacier Wellington.
And I think he meant to do it. I mean, if you really look at this
It was drawn up that way, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of grainy, but if you really look, I think he tried to kick it to him.
Is Travis Tidwell related to Rod Tidwell, and is his name really Glacier Wellington? Because if so, all winners. Dayton, Valparaiso, Jack Cook gets the ball. Double reverse. You think that's the good of it? Watch the catch by Adam Troutman.
How about the throw back across the body and then the one-handed left-hand stab by Troutman for the tutty? This is a great play all the way up.
So calmly grabbed it with one hand.
Dayton wins 41-28. Best part of the program,
Yes.
Will Muschamp, that's for you. Time now for helmet stickers. Joey, lead us off.
Honorable mention, Jaron Hall, BYU's first black starting quarterback. Too bad they lost the game, so he can't get a sticker.
Okay.
I'm going to Alcorn State, Felix Harper, 324 yards, 5 touchdowns. He has 16 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and Alcorn State has now won 4 in a row.
It's a nice helmet.
Good helmet.
Big-time players make big plays in big games.
Yeah.
Israel Mukwamu from South Carolina had 11 tackles and 3 picks against Georgia. Phenomenal.
He was good.
First player at South Carolina in 30 years to come up with 3 picks in a game.
What'd you say about big-time players make big plays in big games? That is C.D. Lamb from Oklahoma. 10 receptions, 171 yards, 3 touchdowns, 8 straight games with a touchdown, tying Mark Clayton for second longest streak in program history. C.D. was big.
Trey Lance, North Dakota State, 228 yards, 3 touchdowns, as North Dakota State has now won 27 in a row. We got to do something about this face mask.
I love it.
Palmer.
That is
the
retro.
Face mask
I like retro,
has
though.
issues.
I'm with that. Kentucky has an issue at quarterback right now. Terry Wilson, the starter, out with an injury. Sawyer Smith, the backup, out. So what do? You take Lynn Bowden Jr., your best wide receiver. He plays quarterback against Arkansas. 7 of 11 with a touchdown pass, but ran for 196 yards.
Good for him.
2 scores. Most rushing yards by an
do it all.
SEC quarterback since Nick Fitzgerald in 2016.
You know who doesn't have an issue at quarterback? Arizona State.
Oh, they don't.
True freshman Jaden Daniels gets by their helmet sticker. 363 yards, 4 touchdowns responsible for, including the game winner. Jaden Daniels has ice in his veins. Honorable helmet sticker to Brandon Ayuk. Caught all 3 passing touchdowns.
I feel like you just carry that helmet with you. It's in the trunk
And
of
that
the car.
helped us go 4-0.
Yeah.
So I like it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. On to week 8.